I'm born and raised in New York, born and raised in Queens. And I recently relocated to LA, kind of like living that bi-coastal life about 4 years ago. And I don't know if it's like age and maturity and all that kind of stuff, or it's just removing yourself from your environment that you're usually familiar with. But like, I remember my first 1 or 2 trips back home to New York, because in New York, in my mind, my home is still New York, you know? Like, that's where I'm more comfortable, that's where my soul gets revived. But anyways, one of my first trips back, I was like taking the train, and I didn't even realize like how much stimulation there is around you. I finally got what people were talking about, where like it's overwhelming. And as a creative person who has like way too much energy and slightly like ADD, ADHD, the whole nine, how great a city like New York is. I was on my own creative journey of being literally at a computer all day and like hunched over. And you know, I sit on my leg like this a lot when I'm working. And it was just like hours and hours and hours of poor ergonomics, poor positioning, it was just non-existent. Like eating and like skipping meals and all this stuff. But it's because I loved what I do. And so what happened was my body started breaking down. I started to get crazy shooting pains on my traps and my low back and like all along here, like my fingers were fucking dead. So I decided to sign up with a trainer. And that was the first time I've ever like really worked out in my life and actually pushed myself. So that opened up like all these different, like just opened up my brain in different ways, where I became more self-aware of my body, made me want to eat better. It just opened up this whole world of wellness that never existed as a dialogue in my life, in my inner circles. And then I realized, like, why is no one talking about this? Undo, the magazine, started in 2014. It started as a running community. I design everything, all the layout on my own. And just to backtrack a little bit, I used to intern at Complex Magazine, which is where I learned how to use InDesign, because I didn't learn that in school. And so it's your classic teach a man how to fish, and they're good for life. So I learned how to design magazines. We talk about sleep, we talk about how your body heals itself through sleep, which is really important because everyone's always like, oh, they sleep, we hustle. And like, actually, when you miss out on sleep, it's so detrimental to your body as a whole because that's when your body heals itself. Humans are designed to heal. You know, there's all these things that over the years, it weighs on your body so badly. And you're like, what the fuck happened? Because and that's why we're just trying to create essentially this message that speaks to our community. So it's packaged in art and design, but it's real information that like helps people survive. And it's stuff that I'm learning. Like, I like this shit, so let me put it together. You know what it's like when you're at your desk working and you're like, man, I'm fucking killing it today. And it's because there's a reason for that. It's understanding your body. And when you understand this machine that's your body, like, it's limitless. When I started to go to certain establishments, I noticed that I was like the only person of color there, or the only person who dressed in a more urban way. You know, you can like recognize like certain people who wear certain brands that are like part of your community. And I realized that that conversation was missing, but so valuable in terms of creatives. Sometimes I stand between like a brand and a consumer, and I have to connect this brand with the consumer, whether it's through campaign art or, you know, maybe it's creating a book or a website for them, or maybe it's like packaging design, or, you know, it's connecting brand with community. It's hard to tell people what I do, and like I'm always self-conscious about it to this day because it's like, people don't really fully understand. They only see graphic designer, or they only see Illustrator, or they only see they can't see all the other things. And I've also in the recent years gotten past that point where I'm tired of feeling the pressure of trying to get people to understand who I am. Let me just work, and they'll see my work, and the work will hopefully speak for itself.